Lagos politics. That's the next on our agenda. But of course, a lot has been said back and forth. Accusations and counter-accusations have been said. But that's just one of a number of things to discuss this morning with Mr. Gbenga Omotosho, who is a Commissioner for Information in Lagos State. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, the governor didn't attend that much look forward to debate, governorship debate in Lagos. Many people expected he'd be there. And of course, that notice that was put up by government and saying that this is the reason that the government couldn't attend, be at the platform of that debate. But of course, the allegations of violence and attack of one party against the other has been going on and on. We have had a conversation with the PDP here. They say, look, it's all APC, and that some members of APC, some thugs, they call them, of APC, hijacked a PDP bus to perpetrate that attack on PDP members and all of that. How does government respond to this?
Well, first, thank you for that question. Everybody knows that the Mr. Sanwo Olu administration is all for peace. If people are saying that they went somewhere in Surulere and there was an incident there, and they are now putting the blame at the doorstep of the APC, saying that the APC hijacked their vehicle and then they started shooting there. They have forgotten that this is the age of social media. People were videoing that incident. I myself, I first thought it was a kind of Hollywood movie until I really saw places that we could recognize as Nigeria, and I saw that this is impossible in a city like ours, people shooting in the afternoon without any consideration for people who are around the place. And then I discovered that it's the truth and that it's reality, it's no movie at all. And then the police moved in to get the people who did this. And they put out a notice that they were looking for some people. Are these APC members? These are not APC members. Or if people are coming to lie about things that are as glaring as that, I wonder what kind of government they want to be if they unfortunately ever get to power. So I think all of the lies that have been put out there.
How can we really validate that they are not APC members? Because part of what the deputy chairman of the opposition party, the PDP in Lagos, said was that, look, this has been a build-up. That a number of places that they went all over Lagos, that they've had that kind of resistance from what they call members of the APC. And it's only natural for them to assume, isn't it?
Well, if they assume that, they are wrong. But I'm telling you the reality. APC members are disciplined. APC is the party of choice in Lagos. APC is the party of the majority in Lagos. APC is the ruling party in Lagos. APC is the party that has been able to show what governance is all about. APC is the party that has been able to show Lagosians dividends of democracy. So why will APC be the one to go and launch an attack against our own people and be chasing them around in broad daylight, shooting as if we're in the days of Shina Rambo or in the days of Oyenusi? I mean, that is not who we are in APC. That is not the kind of Lagos we are building.
So what's the position of government on that attack?
The position of the government is that the attack must be investigated, and whoever is found to have been culpable must be made to face the law.
Are you
and
aware?
The police are doing a good job of that.
While the security agencies are making their investigations, part of the conversation we had with the PDP yesterday was also about the attack on its deputy governorship candidate, who happens to be an actress. I would have thought that, actresses, of that rating would enjoy goodwill with the people, but she was attacked at a market in Lagos. She was even rough-handled, according to the report. Also, the PDP is saying that ahead of time, traditional rulers are warned not to receive their candidate, and that, traditional rulers are more like civil servants who answer to the government. So what's your response to this?
If people are trying to denigrate the traditional institution or to deride the traditional institution that they are saying they are appendages of the government, I think it's unfortunate. I think it's nothing that has to do with our culture and tradition. Any attempt to put our culture and tradition down should be condemned by all of us. How can government go and tell traditional rulers who are the owners of their thrones not to welcome whoever they want to welcome? I think that is absurd, and that is, in my own view, uncalled for people to be making such allegations. APC has never, as an administration, the one that I work for, the administration of Governor Sanwo Olu, has never told anybody, traditional ruler or community leader, not to receive whoever they want to receive. So if anybody is coming here to make that kind of allegation, I think the person is not telling the truth. And what is going on is that people are playing the victim. You are the aggressor, and yet you are playing the victim. It's an old game that all of us can see through, especially when politicians are their game.
But how can they be playing the victim? They say they have evidence of their vehicles vandalized and their members injured. How can they go after their own members? How can they attack their own deputy governorship candidate?
If they have any evidence and they feel that the APC is the perpetrator, they should turn such evidence to the police. I tell you, should anything happen to any APC member, the first thing that you should do is to go to the police. So if anything happens to them, let them go to the police, and the police will investigate. It's not to come on television and begin to make wide, unsubstantiated allegations. If you go to a market and you are rough-handled at a market, the next place to go is the police. I do not think that was done by APC people. It's unfortunate if it ever happened, because that is not who we are in APC. We want our people not to be violent in any way. And in fact, some of the songs that we sing, they preach against violence. In Yoruba, they say, if I interpret one in English, they say, don't fight them, just vote. Vote with your PVC, fight with your PVC. That is the thing that APC is preaching. Not that people should go physically and begin to assault
And they
people.
also say from all the attacks on them, you know, in Agege, they mentioned a number of places that they have reported to the police, and the police has done very little in terms of investigation. As the spokesperson of the Lagos State government here, would you be calling out the security agents? Because I'd like to believe that the security of lives and property, regardless of political affiliation, is your business. So would you be seeing to it that the state security agency investigate this and, you know, prosecutes those who are found culpable?
That is why we don't even keep quiet when we find this kind of thing. And we don't lay the allegation, accusation at the doorstep of anybody. We call out the police to say this matter must be investigated, and speedily so. So it is not that APD is condoning violence, whoever is perpetrating it. And anybody accusing APC is just does not know what he or she wants to say. Because APC, you cannot, you can't put an elephant on your head and you begin to scratch the ground for a termite hole in order to get a termite. APC is the big party. APC is the party everybody wants to beat in Lagos. So we cannot say, because it's the majority party in Lagos, everybody loves APC, and APC has shown the world what it can do with development in Lagos, and then we begin to talk about violence. I mean, that is cheap.
Okay. Well, but it would seem like government has already decided who perpetrated that activity in Surulere. Would that be correct? Because the governor said, according to the statement the government put out, the governor will not share the same platform with someone who has perhaps suspected by government. What's the position on government on who perpetrated that
If you
attack?
watch that video, it's quite evident. It's graphic. I mean, visually, you know, penetrating, that you can see who and who did what. And that is why the police have put up a notice that they are looking for some people, because they could be seen there. That's why the fact that they cover their faces, people could recognize them.
But
And
people
then,
also assume that would have been a wonderful platform to discredit whoever it is that government suspected did that thing. That the governor should have attended that, you know, platform, that debate, and make his own position known. That look, this kind of thing cannot be tolerated by a responsible government?
Well, that's not going to be part of the debate, but it was seen on that video that, you know, a party was responsible because of their vehicle that was found there, the insignia there. All of the talk about APC hijacking a vehicle and all of that is old women's tales that won't wash at all. And that is why the police are on top of the matter and inviting some people. But for the governor to go there, he was ready to go there. Everybody will, you know, attest to the fact that Mr. Sanwo Olu is not one who will run away from a debate. He's articulate, he's educated, he's highly intelligent, and he knows his onions anytime, any day. And, you know, for him to say that he was not going to go there, we got calls from elders. We got calls from attentive Lagosians. We got calls from intelligent Lagosians who are saying that if this is going on in broad daylight, and the same people who are going to be sitting down with them on the same podium, if they are not, if they are this violent, they could also be violent with their mouth. And you could see what happened there. Someone trying not to be decent, trying to be abusive. I mean, that is not what a debate is all about.
Will you be clear about those who are not decent, who are abusive?
I mean, you can go back to the video of that event and watch, and you will see that.
Okay,
abusing people who are not even there.
So in the future, will the Lagos State governor also be, you know, shying away from debates because of the same reason? No,
not that. If I mean, every debate request will come with its own values, and if there are values that we share, we will be there. But if people that we are going to be debating with are people who do not respect the lives of Lagosians, there are people who do not feel that they have to be decent, there are people who, corridor boys who are trying to become kings. I do not think it will be nice. It will be offending the sensibility of decent Lagosians for us to be sharing the same platform as that.
It also raises the question of security in the state. I want to believe that the Lagos state government is as concerned as so many other people in the state about the state of security and all of that. Robbery in traffic and all kinds of unrest occasioned by some of the issues that were not even, initiated by the state government. Fuel scarcity all over the place, robbery in traffic, and pockets of other unrest such as that. Looking at these and a number of other insecurity issues that have arisen, there are so many other things that we hope we will get to. What are some of those that the Lagos state government has identified, and how are those issues being addressed, especially concerning insecurity?
Well, if you talk about security, you will agree with me that there are some states that you cannot wake up 5 a.m. and start coming to the studio.
Well, we are talking about
in
Lagos. Yes.
In Lagos, you can move around 24 hours, anytime, any day. This is because of the massive investment of Mr. Sanwo Olu's administration in security. It is because of the collaboration we are getting with the federal government and all security agencies in Lagos that Lagosians can move around. If you are talking about pickpockets, about people asking you to bring your phone in traffic, these are things that are common in mega cities like Lagos. I've been in New York before. It's even worse. Every second you hear police siren all over the place. But this is not the kind of thing that we will welcome in Lagos. And if you check your records, the traffic robbery thing has gone down, really down. And then when the Lagos State Security Trust Fund was presenting its reports recently, it was said that in the past couple of years, there has been no bank robbery in Lagos. I grew up here and I know what it used to be. People moving from one end of the city to the other, robbing innocent Lagosians. But that doesn't happen anymore because the security agencies, in my own view, they deserve kudos and not condemnation. But you see, we always looking for the perfect situation, which is very good for us to look for. But honestly, that ideal situation is the one that we are working towards. We are no Lagosian will be afraid of moving around anytime, any day. But as we have done with all the equipment we are giving to the security agencies, the backing we are giving them, I think they have really done well. But we live in a society that people talk about their rights and all of the time their privileges. Nobody is talking about responsibility. We usually say that security is the responsibility of all of us. If you hear something, you say something.
But that also presupposes that government has done some spade work. For instance, if people see stuff, they say stuff to government. One of those things that people say is the indiscriminate parking of commercial buses in places that are not designated as bus stops. You drove, all the way here to our studio, and I'm very sure that you passed through the Berger bus stop. Most of the time, the buses there do not park, they do not use the bus stops that were allotted to them, and that's the scenario all over the city of Lagos. So there are those who are wondering, if government expects people to take responsibility, see something and say something, the things that they have seen and said, especially about the indiscriminate activities and indiscipline of bus drivers in the city, government isn't doing anything about it. Well, so what's next? What more can we say?
If we are talking about security and then we are now moving to how some drivers park on the road.
It is how you are in Lagos.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, it's the whole thing. It doesn't stop. Who knows who is perpetrating these things?
Well, what I'm saying is that if drivers, I know that even non-commercial drivers, they do all of these things that you are saying. I mean, instead of you to go into the lay-by, pick up somebody or drop somebody, they just stop on the road. And they do know that the 15 seconds, the 1 minute they are spending on the road, you have the thing tailing back and queues behind you.
That's why we have government, and that's why we have laws that have to be enforced.
You see, I think if I tell you the number of people that last mile people arrest every day, you will be shocked. And people begin to say that things are hard in town, and then they are being asked to come and pay fines because they have parked in the wrong way and all of that. The thing is that we should talk to ourselves as true Lagosians, as people who are proud to be Lagosians. If the government says, put a sign here, don't not park here, people should not park there. And once you arrest people there, and then they keep on parking there, people will just feel that maybe the government is not doing enough. But I tell you, check out the records of last month. People who are being arrested every day and being given tickets for parking in the wrong place, or even driving against one way. The offense in Lagos, you pay with it, you pay with your car. If you drive against the traffic in Lagos, you lose your car. But despite this, the cars are being auctioned. When people are driven against the traffic, people still drive against the traffic.
Does that mean government is overwhelmed?
So we should be able to talk to ourselves instead of putting all the blame on the government.
Does that mean that government is overwhelmed? Just a second, I'm not sure. Because at the end of the day, government has some responsibilities. Does that mean that government is overwhelmed? I mean, if people are doing the same thing for which many of them are being penalized, does that mean government is overwhelmed? That one other thing that happened just recently, I'm sure you're aware and heartbroken about it, is the death of 9 people just at the footbridge of Ojuelegba. A trailer truck fell on a bus and killed so many people. And there are those who are wondering, how could such things happen when there are laws that should have been enforced to make sure that lives and property are protected?
Well, let me tell you, we have the Lagos State Traffic Law 2018. Under that law, the kind of thing that we are talking about is taken care of. The Ojuelegba Bridge, you and I, we agreed that there was a time that we had a barrier there. And that barrier was removed because we were asked to remove that barrier. It was removed by the federal authorities who felt it shouldn't be there. But now all of us, we are talking, and we are seeing how we can return that barrier. But let me tell you, very many people have been convicted for the kind of offense that we are talking about. And this particular incident too, those who are behind it, they are not going to go scot-free. They will have their day in court. Recently, people were convicted for driving dangerously and causing the death of other innocent road users in Lagos. So it's not as if the law is quiet on all of these things, but it's not everything that comes onto television that you do.
If you say that so many people are prosecuted for such offenses, we wonder why it is not enough to deter further crimes in that regard. But let's make progress with the conversation now. The opposition is also calling out the state government, perhaps beyond this administration, for not delivering dividends of democracy to Lagosians with the compared with the amount of funds that has been available to Lagos State over the years, and it's causing a second look at the account books of Lagos State government. 754 billion naira is what the state government generated in terms of internally generated revenue in the year 2021 alone, and that's besides the federal allocation that also comes to Lagos. So what's your response to this? What Lagos has delivered in terms of infrastructure, is it enough to justify what comes to the coffers of the state government?
You see, let me tell you, there is one Yoruba proverb that says that no matter how good a hunter you are, if you kill an elephant in the presence of your opponent, you cannot kill any big game. The opponent will say, look at the rat he has killed and is calling it an elephant. What Lagos is generating and what we have been able to deliver in Lagos, I think we've really done well. Because the people who are in charge of our finances in Lagos, from Mr. Governor himself up to the Commissioner for Finance, up to the Commissioner for Planning, these are tested professionals who know the onions when it comes to the matters of Naira and Kobo. What we are delivering in Lagos is far exceeds what is coming in terms of revenue. Take, for example, just one project like, say, the Blue Line. All of the housing projects that we have done, about 19 of them, delivering almost 4,000 units of houses in about 3 years. Or the roads that we have built, 970 roads. Or opening 15 schools in one day on October 19 last year. Or building 4 mother and child hospitals in about 3 years. On all the big projects that we are doing, and anybody who is saying that the kind of money Lagos is making, that what we have done is not justifiable, I think the person is just being cynical. The person is just being unrealistic. And the person is, in many cases, lacks facts and figures, which we will give them anytime, any day. Lagos is a very big city of about 25 million people. So to cater for these 25 million people, you need a lot of money. And there is no state that can go and do the kind of projects that we are doing now, because they can't even raise the funding. So for us, it's not just the kind of money that Lagos is making from federal authorities or taxes. Out of 25 million people, about 6 million are in the tax slate. And of those 6 million, about 4.2 million are active taxpayers. You and I who pay through our offices. Most of the big men you see in town and all the other people, in about 25 million people, they don't pay any tax. And any day, look at how states were flooded recently. In Taraba, in Anambra, in so many other places. We didn't experience that kind of thing in Lagos because of the kind of money government has spent on drainage. And drainage is not something you can see. But if you are talking about brick and mortar, I'm telling you, 19 housing projects in about 3 years. 1,047 school projects in about 3 years. Iconic schools like Elemoro, iconic schools like Vetland Grammar School, and yet they will say they have not seen anything. These are things that even the blind can feel. These are things that the deaf can see.
One of those that you mentioned is the Blue Line project, and amid that is the on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is the 10-lane expansion that has taken more than a decade to complete. It started during the administration of former governor and now Minister of Works Babatunde Fashola. Why has that taken so long if Lagos has access to such a humongous amount of funds in terms of IGR federal allocation?
If you look at what Lagos is carrying, what we have is not among us at all. But first, let me just correct the impression that Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is a Lagos project. It's a federal government project.
Lagos-Badagry Expressway.
Lagos-Badagry Expressway, the side of Lagos-Badagry Expressway that concerns Lagos is almost completed. The other side is the federal side, which our honorable minister has said that he is going to ensure that it's completed. And as I speak with you now, contractors are working there. But go to the kind of a road that we opened about 2 days ago, the Eleko Junction to Ekpeti Junction. That's a road that was built 42 years ago, which the administration of Mr. Sanwo Olu has now turned into a 6-lane highway, lit, rigid concrete pavement, with all the facilities that you can see, what class road? I mean, why will somebody not talk about that? When they now drive to Ekpe and they get to Ekpe in a few minutes, they will know that we have done something.
But there's so many other feeder roads in other parts of Lagos that belie, your account of the funds being justifiable for what you've provided
Lagos has,
over the years.
Lagos has about 9,400 roads. There's no way you can fix all of them in 3 years. It's not possible. We have done 970 roads. Lagos Public Works Corporation has done 650 roads as of November. By now, they must have done more. If you go to Facebook or any part of the social media, you see Lagos State Public Works Corporation working day and night. Nowadays, they don't sleep. They work day and night because they want to do a lot before the rains come. But you see, if they haven't got into your area, just calm down. They'll be there.
Okay, well, Mr. Motosho, we're winding down now, and I'm just wondering. So, one of the thorny issues that a number of people have been concerned about is the disappointment that Lagos State, for instance, is one of those states that didn't say yes to the to the local government autonomy, financial and administrative autonomy. Is there a reason for that?
Well, it's the job of the House of Assembly to say yes or no. Well, they went round. I think what is done in that kind of thing is that when you present a bill, especially a public bill like that, they go out and sample opinions. They do what they call a public assessment. People will come and say whatever they like, a kind of town hall meeting over such a bill. And I think the position of Lagos State House of Assembly, which was presented by the government, is what they got from their constituencies.
Well, what is the position of the government, the executive arm of government, about the autonomy? Because one would expect that if the local government system was autonomous, some of the burden that Lagos State government is carrying would be, the government would be assisted by these 57 local governments and LCDAs all over the place, and some of the thorny issues of pockets of insecurity here and there would have been dealt with at that level.
Well, let me tell you something. When they are talking about local government autonomy, I think what really sparks such a talk is about finances. Lagos is one of the very few states where nobody touches local government money. Local government money goes to the local governments directly. It has nothing to do with state government. So if the Lagos State is presenting a case that the House of Assembly in Lagos doesn't accede to the proposition that there should be local government autonomy, it's something that has to do with the lawmakers, the Assembly, and their constituents, not the state government, because the state government has nothing to do with local government money.
Just to clarify, Mr. Motosho, did you say that the position of the State Assembly was based on views collated from constituents?
I'm just saying how the process works. This particular
So by constituents, do you mean the people at the grassroots?
Yeah.
The people at the grassroots?
Yes, because they will go around and talk to their people.
They would vote against local government autonomy?
That may have happened.
Okay.
I wasn't part of the process.
Well, we could go on and on about this, and let's hope that the Lagos State House of Assembly will be able to guest us on this program as well to talk about that and a number of other things. But we have to thank you very much, Mr. Benga Motosho, Lagos State Commissioner for Information Strategy. Thank you so much, and all the best all the time.
Thank you.